have been Twin Cities nurses' strikes in the past, but this one might be different. For the first time ever, a possible one-day nurses' strike in June would affect most Twin Cities hospitals. Nurses voted Wednesday to approve a strike, and while talks are ongoing, a possible walkout could occur in just over a week's time. We asked both sides to join us tonight, and they kindly agreed to do so. Susan Mason is here representing the Minnesota Nurses Association. Here with the Twin Cities hospital perspective is spokesperson Maureen Schreiner. Thanks to both of you. Susan, why do you think a one-day strike is good strategy?
The nurses advocated for a one-day strike for a particular reason, and that is that they want to stand up, draw some attention to the patient safety and staffing concerns that they have, and they believe that a one-day strike will minimize the impact to patients, the community, hospitals.
But you want to get your point across in one day. Do you really think that puts economic pressure on hospitals?
It probably puts some economic pressure on the hospitals, yes, but the most important thing is that a one-day strike to bring attention to the issues they feel is in the best interest of the community and their patients.
Okay.
So,
Maureen, how are hospitals preparing for something like this?
Well, first, I can't sit here and not say that thanks for Almanac for having me on, and that 20 years ago when I was a reporter here, I never thought that I'd end up being a guest, and that I have to tell the viewers.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I have to tell the viewers that, you know, after 25 years on the air, it's time for the viewers to stop calling about your hair.
Yeah, right? It's true. Yeah, please
and,
do.
Yeah. So congrats to Almanac on 25 years. And then I do want to talk about the issues in terms of kind of just laying this out first in terms
Let's
of
talk
what
about the issue. I want to ask about the walkout first. I mean, how are you folks preparing for a possible one-day walkout? Are you?
Well, that's the point of it, is that the hospitals certainly think that a settlement is reachable first, and that the issue about patient safety is just one of many issues that we can come to agreement on, and that we have to start off with this kind of, reality situation of that times, we do have to reflect reality. And the first reality is that we've compensated our nurses well. We're including a wage increase in this contract. So the average nurse right now that works full-time is paid $79,000 a year. About 80% of our nurses work part-time, but they receive full-time benefits. So one of the issues that we're bringing up is, well, right now you can work as little as 16 hours a week and receive full-time benefits, and the hospitals are asking, well, let's work 20 hours a week to receive full-time benefits. The other thing that kind of understand of what happened on Wednesday is that there were two votes on the ballot. One of them was for a contract. The other one was for a pension. And we did talk about changes to the pension, the hospitals did.
And you're worried about pension cuts, is that right, Susan?
that's correct. The nurses are very concerned that a 30% cut in benefits is not reasonable.
Okay, but let's put that into relative terms.
But the point of the matter is that the hospitals have not indicated that this is an affordability issue. They've just indicated that they want to redirect their resources. The pension is very important in order to recruit and retain people for the future. We have a serious situation with the retirement of a large portion of nurses, and we need to be able to recruit and retain. This market's done that. This market has done that through negotiating wages and benefits that retain and recruit talented nurses.
Yeah, and we do have a low turnover rate of nurses.
That's
it's about
right.
between 5 and 6%, but the pension issue needs to be considered in actual terms and not the relative terms that the union's talking about. And the actual terms are that if you're a senior nurse, first of all, none of the benefits would be lost. They'd still retain all of those. It's just going forward. The formula right now that we are dealing with them is it's a 1.75% defined benefit, and that means that it's guaranteed. It's not like most of us have these 401ks where you contribute. It's the hospitals guaranteeing the pension, and what we're talking about is going from 1.75% to 1.2%. So is that relatively a 30% change? It is, but it's still a generous pension benefit. We just need to make it reasonable and affordable.
It's not a generous pension benefit for a nurse who's beginning his or her career. The hospital's proposal would affect over the course of their 20 or 25 years in practice as a registered nurse would reduce the benefits substantially, 30, 40, 50%, depending on their actually yearly income. So
but let's put this into context, though, about that 90% of employers don't even have this kind of defined guaranteed benefit of a pension anymore. It's a 401k. So we're trying to, again, sort of set it into realistic terms about, what the pension can actually be. And then I do want to get back at this issue that the union has been raising about staffing levels, because right now, and we haven't really talked about this with, other media that can't quite understand the details of it, that right now in the current union contract, there is an elaborate description of how staffing works. And the head nurse, who is a union member, the head nurse of each unit has a grid that they work with that looks at, okay, at the end of the shift, how sick are the patients and what kind of seniority are the staff is that's coming in.
Right.
So we address the staffing.
Well, the facts are, though, Maureen, is that the staffing proposal works off of those exact ideas. But the crisis in staffing today in the hospitals is this, that the number of patients that a nurse may care for is not predictable from one part of the day to another part of the day.
And that's why we need flexibility. That's why we need flexibility.
Well, you may need flexibility, but the nurses need to be able to protect their patients. They need to be able to advocate for them. And the only way that they can do that is to have a reasonable patient assignment in which they can protect them from falls, adverse outcomes, and improve their outcomes.
Well, you know what, but that changes from unit to unit. And just to sort of understand, this proposal is put in place in only one place in the country, and that's California. And I don't think that California is a place we want to be now, right? I mean,
It is a place that we want to be, Maureen,
California isn't a great model.
A lot of money, actually.
Yeah, but but you have to look at the numbers of how the patient outcomes
work. But you have to look at the research. The research has proven that nurse staffing is directly correlated to improve patient outcomes. The staffing studies out of California directly are associated with improved patient outcomes, decreased falls, decreased infections,
let's look at what the reality is in terms of the Joint Commission.
We're looking at the research,
we're going to look at the Joint Commission. The Joint Commission, which accredits us, says it's no longer evaluating staffing levels because there was no correlation between patient safety and what the staffing levels are. So our Joint Commission is who we listen to. The Joint Commission is a national accrediting commission.
That's not what the research says.
That we are not, and we already take into account staffing. We're better than California.
So are talks ongoing, or what's the?
We have no scheduled talks. We certainly hope to have the opportunity to sit down. We would like to reach a settlement, but we do not have any scheduled talks. And at this point, no, we do not.
And a one-day strike could turn into a longer strike?
Well, it could. And actually, we're still hopeful. The one thing that I want to kind of be clear going out of here, because my union friends at Channel 2 here, and any other union members, including nurses included, is that I think that unions are a valuable and important part of society, but we need to have forward-looking ideas. And the most successful unions are forward-looking, and this union has been forward-looking. It needs to shift gears, and we need to move forward with forward-looking
and that's
ideas.
Why that we are looking to look to the future, to look to protect patients for the future, and staffing is a big part of that, and the hospitals need to take.
Good luck. Thanks.
We wish you luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.